Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome your host to the podium of leadership, Dr. Victor Udo.
How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. You might be seated. Welcome to the podium of leadership. In our last program, we talked about opportunities other than government and other than oil. We said there are opportunities in sports, opportunities in environment, opportunities in tourism, and opportunities in agriculture. These are areas that there are several different types of opportunities. Today, we are going to discuss how do we convert those opportunities into business. And in the house, we have someone that knows how businesses are run internationally, nationally, locally. We have in the house the Executive Director of Akicop. Akicop is a government investment corporation that help the government, help the people of Akwa Ibom State to know where and how to turn opportunities into businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium of leadership, Mr. Imobasi Jacob. And because we don't have too much time, we're just going to get into the conversation with him right away. Mr. Jacobs, please tell your people, you've been here before, tell us whatever you want us to know about you.
Pleasure to be back to the podium. My name is Imobasi Jacob. I am excited about business, excited about entrepreneurship. I'm a chartered accountant by profession, but lately I have picked so much interest in helping people succeed in doing business.
Mr. Imobasi is the engine room, in my opinion, the engine room, the brand behind Akicop today. And if there's anything you need to know on how to turn any opportunity, whether in what area, whether it's in the sports, environment, agriculture, tourism, if you want to turn any opportunity into business, Mr. Jacob is here to have a conversation with you. Does anybody have any opportunity they would like to turn into business?
I have an opportunity in sports, which I feel not only government but individual here and the operation manager, Akicop, can also input his wealth of ideas on where and how to take it to the next level. I also understand that in the area of sport, there are other advantages awaiting.
Do you have an opportunity you think can be converted into business?
Yes, please.
Let us know what the opportunity is.
I'm trying to develop a board game called Draft. So I target World Draft Championship. Now, the way I put it is such a way that we'll have tourists coming from other states, other countries to come and contest here. Now, the business aspect of it is, aside the fact that people will contest and win prizes, there are opportunities because football started like this. Handball started this way, among other sporting activities. So there are opportunities for state, individual, to invest in getting World Draft Championship as the biggest gathering of draft players ever in the world to the next level.
So there's no draft championship
never in history,
and you think
never
you can turn
in
it into
history.
business? Okay,
Yes,
let's
doctor.
give it up to him. Mr. Jacobs, have you heard that one before? I think maybe it's something like I think I have heard of Scrabble, Scrapples, I've heard of chess. So draft, I don't know how strategic and sophisticated draft is.
Well, let's encourage him for daring to think, because that's where it should all start. But I think what is more important is to understand how you move from just knowing that there's an opportunity and building a business around that opportunity. I think we can have a conversation on the model first, and then we can then specifically see how your opportunity fits in. What I know is that for any opportunity to metamorphose into a business, it must meet the needs of the market. It must be market driven.
Yeah.
And so a lot of us come by these opportunities every day, especially when someone complains about something not going right. And then we see the problem and not see the opportunities in the problem. And that's where business people come in. When you complain, they take note of it.
Yeah.
And they think of how best to satisfy you. So much that you can pay for a service or a product. But that's not even, anybody can do that. Being able to build a business system. There's something we call business concept, which is the idea. But then a business system, an organization of people, resources that can drive it in such a way that it can add value. Add value to all the shareholders, add value to the market, add value to government, and everyone has one thing or the other to do with it. That's the mindset that we need to cultivate in this part of the world. In Africa, we're sitting on a gold mine. And you know gold cannot be found on the surface. Usually something very dirty, something you've got to look beneath there to be able to find. Let me give you to know. In our state today, you see the way refuse is being disposed of. Are you happy with it? Okay? The whole place is littered up. And even when we try to evacuate it, we use ancient approach. You use a tipper. Tipper is not meant to carry refuge. Tipper is for some other purpose. Someone invented that for a different matter. And when we walk past these refuse collectors, we wink. Or we just never think anything of it. But a businessman or an entrepreneur could say, well, the way they're going about it, they're trying to solve a problem, but they're creating other problems. For example, when you drive in an open van, refuse that you just collected, what will happen when the wind blows on it?
Start drop away.
Okay. But beneath the refuse, there are wealth to be created. There is wealth to be created, rather. You can convert it. Some of those materials, biomaterials, can be converted into something else that can generate even something like energy. You know, and someone needs to think through that entire process. And at the point where you can see problems opportunities in problems, that's the first step. And then the next step is, how do I bring people together, bring capitalists together, bring employees together, so that we can present our idea to the market. I think that's what we need to lay out as a basic. If we then have that mindset, each and every one of us can then go out looking for where problems exist. Because wherever you have problems, there are opportunities. Someone once said that opportunities are problems in work clothes. In other words, for me to say I'm looking for opportunity, I look for problems, and then I have to roll my sleeves and begin to dig it out. Why are people angry? Why are people not happy? Look at our educational system. We've been complaining. The enrollment thing we try to solve by having free primary education. That is good, but it creates another problem. What's the problem? When you train children in a primary school and you don't make provision for them for secondary education and university education, who's going to take this up as a business? Today we have a lot of private schools trying to fill the gap, you know. But is it done in a strategic manner? Is it a strategic response? Or someone just has enough money and thinks that he should hide his wealth in a school and then tries to do it anyhow without understanding how a school system works? What drives a school is different from what drives any other type of company. For example, you go to schools because of the name. So what drives the school is not the building. Of course the building is part of it. What is the name? Today someone will say, I went to Oxford. What is Oxford? It's just a name, it's a brand name. So if you try to respond to the gap, the need gap, that we have pushed a lot of people into the primary education because government has intervened, and of course government can't do everything. Government has done the needful. So it's for you and I to say, okay, they've created a solution, but they've also created another problem. Problem is that the children of the primary school policy of the government may not find space in the secondary segment and even in the university segment. So the private sector comes in there and says, there's a problem. We need to respond. We need to create schools. But what kind of schools? It should be schools that meet the basic requirements of school and also meet the needs of the industry, because sometimes we create these schools and they just have subjects that don't respond to the real world. You go and train people in, for example, if we're doing industrialization, we need to start training people on basic skills that will drive industrialization. The government has been doing a lot in sending people to other countries to learn skills. But it's just an intervention. It's the private sector that should take up where government stop itself in terms of policy.
So your draft business, what need is it meeting?
Definitely, we've been into research on the objective of such a game in the life of the contestant. If you are an expert in draft game, you see, ranging from the calculative aspect of it on how to shift the game to score the other one, there are a lot of mental calculations.
So what's the need your business is trying to address? What value is it going to add either to the draft player or another person? You know, he's talking about you see the opportunity or you see a problem, you turn it into opportunity, and then you create a business around it.
Some of these experts in time gone were taken for touts. They thought that there is nothing good out of it. So we are trying to push these good guys. Some of them are idle. Some of them are graduates who are idle. And an idle man.
Idle draft players.
Yes.
You're talking about the supply side. He's talking about the demand side. I'm seated here. I'm not a draft player.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that type of game.
Yes.
But you are trying to find out whether there's a need for me in there. So put your finger on that need, and then you have a business ahead of you.
Okay. I know you have a tailoring thing that has been identified by KISS. What other opportunities are you seeing? How can what you are doing with KISS be converted into business?
Sonic is a brand, like you rightly said. I'm the CEO of Sonic. Having been there, initially I realized that tailors all around focus on owning just a particular shop. So you want to see your suit, just go there and see your suit, and perhaps you might take a tailor maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 days or 1 week just to finish your suit alone, and then give you. If it needs to require that you want to use that suit today and go to somewhere, very important location, you may not have such a place around. So we saw such need and we made research. Now at Sonic, even a day, you can get this branded, just perfectly done for you.
So you saw a need for people to get a real-time or right-on-time delivery of suits.
Of suits and quality and industrial finishing. And we have the brand, Sonic, powering that. And then we said we cannot do this alone. We look at synergizing with other tailors around. Therefore, we call in tailors who are professionals in different areas, and we accommodate them. That is a pure synergy. Synergizing with other tailors. Then we don't only sew suits. Then we start in just a day. We produce, like recently we produced for archery, oil of archery. The coverall the farmers use there. And imagine the company was to be there on the 29th, and somebody just call you on 23rd. Say, can you mass produce coverall for our trainees to use and this? We say, yes, we can. So they gave us a try, and we satisfied them. They were very happy. So that was the magic. And
so that's an opportunity. Let's hear the guests say how you can turn that into a sustainable business.
But let me still confirm. That is basically at the starting point, because as we still do, we still witness other opportunities lying around. Because basically, like now, I want to really appreciate His Excellency, because we thought this idea and this synergy, when we were asked, was invited for an exhibition at the Hall. We went there to display most of my staff, the people that work out with me. We went there to display our products, because we also sold jersey. Those things that people normally go outside to get. We say, come here, yes, we can make it. We do some things, make mistakes, go inside.
Tell us the opportunity. Let's see how it can be turned into business.
Therefore, now we in Sonic, we also have the fashion school where we train other people to know how to leverage all these things, because there's a tendency that if you look at this way, if there is an outing now, you want to wear t-shirt massively to go out. Suppose of these things are being called, you go to Lagos, you go to Oba, almost the time.
So we've seen the opportunity. Let's see how we turn it into a big business. That's what, you see, one thing that you said is the first, one day delivery of a suit.
Yeah,
how you synergize all the other tailors. So how do we turn that into a sustained business?
Let's look at it this way. Yeah. I think I like what I'm hearing, because he picks a part of the needs of the market and wants to showcase it. Real-time delivery. It's usually a problem when you have mass production requests. So you want to ensure that it is done as agreed with the customer. That's what you're speaking of. Because I can look at the garment market and look at other needs. The other needs people may think are important, but you want to come to the market from that angle and make a name. Question that the moderator has asked is important. How do you do this as a business in a sustainable manner? I think that's where we are now. There's something we call the business of a business. In other words, in this particular type of trade, what is the real business inside of it? Because anybody can do what you're doing. All it takes is to make a promise to the customers that I will deliver real time and then run around and bring people to ensure that it's done. So you need to go back to the real theme of this business or your business concept. And I can suggest this to you. From my experience, what really counts in the garment business is what we call label, or you can call it brand name. Because tomorrow someone will copy you. If you don't have a strong label, someone will try to do what you're doing. I mean, we have a lot of copycats in Nigeria. They try to see that your surface can be there. So, how do you create a label that when you stick it on your production, it speaks? Just like we talked about school, there is a name that sells school. It's also a label that sells garments, because even our pants have labels. How do you create a label that when you stick it on your production, it speaks? Just like we talked about school, there is a name that sells school. It's also a label that sells garments, because even our pants have labels, even though we don't display. You go to the market and say, I'm looking for St. Michael. You just won't take any pants that has no name. If it has no name, it's not. It's a non-starter. So how do you build a brand? It must start from you, because sometimes we are the brand that people see. Your whole grooming. You cannot be a tailor and then you are wearing anyhow. You must have an eye for fashion and all that. And then, of course, when you bring people to join you, they've got to sign on, and that's where corporate culture comes in. Because the brand effect might be the intangible things that you do around your brand. Okay? You bring your people to come and work with you. They must understand the business behind this business. The business behind this business is timely delivery. And for me to have timely delivery, what are the things I need to put in place? From the time someone walks in with an order to the time his order is to be expected, what are the things we need to manage so that we don't miss our promises? Okay? So you come up with a corporate culture. Corporate culture is that no work, for example, no work to be left behind.
How many people do you have in your company right now? How many people are employed?
Currently we have around 11.
11 people. So you created a job for 11 people already. And then you also have tailors that you synergize with. Okay, so you hear what he's talking about.
Yes. Okay. Building that brand. For example, when you, because tailoring is, of course, you have the machine effect, but you also have the interface with the human operators. That we would not leave any work behind, for example. We would not go home until the work is done. That may be, branding, making sure that your people are cloned so that you meet the promises that you made to the government. Now, the second thing that you need to do is to register your brand, the label, get the name, registered with not just corporate affairs, there's
trademark
and patent office. you register it, and you protect it. The label must be consistent over time so that when someone sees it today, and he sees it tomorrow, he will be able to link it up. We'll be able to know that it's the same label over time. Like the day you see Coca-Cola with yellow strap, it's no longer Coca-Cola. It's always consistent. So you register it to protect it from predators, and then you train your people around it. For example, when someone walks into your shop, how do you take measurement? There must be a scripted way of how measurement is taken, so that it's not done haphazardly. I've seen tailors who just take and then they then go and write blah, blah, blah. Where is the form that I have to fill and find it?
And how clean is the person that is taking that?
The guy is wearing a t-shirt, he's wearing underwear.
And it's smelling.
And rivers of living waters.
I won't come back.
And then I'm not smelling good around him. He's trying to measure me. I'm trying to look not sad. And then after it's recorded, you pass it on to the next level of processing. Okay, so you need to set those processes in place. Okay. Sometimes the processes come unscripted because you are, as an entrepreneur, would have it all here. But at a point, you have to get help from professionals who will write it into your operations manual, so that when you bring people, that's how business are formed. Business is a man having an idea and then call other people to come help him implement the idea at the salary, or he earns profit. So you need to put all those in place. And then, of course, business is a living organism. You don't get stuck having satisfied today's need, because you have to upscale. Otherwise, someone else would overtake you or even do better. Yeah. So you constantly innovate. The business must have an ability to think. But all of that has to start with you having what I call a business system.
Now that's a very important point that is making, because most of the clothes people wear in the US, they're from China. And these Chinese people are no more smarter than you are. So if you follow the process he's talking about, and you convert your ideas into processes and human beings, that's a business that would outlive you. And your children will come and benefit from it. That was a very good one.
Let's introduce you to your new home, Albert Suites. The location is L47, Ewet Housing Estate by Ewet Housing Police Station, Uyo. You are guaranteed the best of African and continental dishes with mouth-watering and finger-licking taste, as well as affordable and well-designed ultra-modern facilities that will make you stay a memorable one. In the bar, you will enjoy assorted wine and spirits, specially selected from the best distillers and kept ice chilled for you. Albert Suites offers you a world of luxury as you are sure of 24 hours internet services, laundry services, adequate security, 24 hours power supply, well-equipped gymnasium and conference hall. For your orders, call 0802-583-8426. Albert Suites, your best home away from home. Do you want to see beyond your vision? Do you want to hear what other people think about leadership? Do you need a reshaping of your mindset and mentorship? Then tune in to the Podium of Leadership, The Pole with Victor Udo, showing on AKBC Channel 45 every Monday by 12:30 p.m. and on NTA Channel 12 Uyo every Thursday by 10 p.m. Tune to The Pole on Planet FM on Wednesdays by 3 p.m. and on AKBC Radio on Saturdays by 1:30 p.m. You can be a guest on this program. You can also advertise your products, goods and services, or sponsor the program by calling our office line 0902-300-7299. That is 0902-300-7299. Visit our website on www.thepole.com.ng. Like our page on facebook.com/The Podium of Leadership, or follow us on our Twitter handle at The Pole with Victor. The Podium of Leadership do show. Join us.
Any other person have a real opportunity that you need some suggestion or idea on how to convert it into a business? Okay, you.
Thank you, sir.
So the opportunity I have identified is in the agriculture. And some few months ago, when I was communicating with some of my friends who are currently serving during their National Youth Service Corps, I've come to realize that most of them serving outside the state do not see most of the foods we have here to eat, especially if we talk about the leaves of afang. There are some states that it's very difficult for them to see it over there. So I was thinking of a way of packaging afang, maybe slicing it and drying it or something. Then it could be sold to some of these states in a packaged way. And also, even in the states, you see that most persons who work late in the night, let's say the bankers, they leave very early, come back in the evening, will find it very beneficial to them because they wouldn't have to go to the market and start coming back to slice the leaves and start preparing it. So I'm looking at a way of turning this thing into a business.
Before the guys, in the US, we already have that. People are packaging afang in polythene and sending it to US. So your main thing is really how you get this afang and get people to cut and dry it, and then put it on a plastic bag, and you can send it. Maybe you have to get a NAVDAC number. Let him respond. But it's something that people have already been doing. So all you need is maybe the money to buy the afang and get the people to cut it, and then you get a NAVDAC and put it in the plastic and you send it.
I think this discussion has thrown up the need for us to make sure that what we identify as an opportunity is not already dealt with by somebody else. And that's where research comes in. But I like what I'm hearing. For example, you are trying to meet the needs of people who are far away from home, but who don't want to be far away from the food, the staples that they're used to back home. And you are looking at it from the packaging point of view. When you were explaining it, I said, can we take it to the next level, which is where maybe nobody is doing it. Blending it that we can get it done on, we can turn it, we can not just cutting the leaves, you can have an afang package that once you boil it 5 minutes, it becomes afang soup. I'm not sure anybody is doing that. And it's not rocket science. In fact, instant food.
Like noodle. Noodle come with all the things prepared.
All the condiments are inside. So we can blend it. If you go to any shop, they have what they call sharp. They just cut many things, okra, pepper, and then what else? Crayfish and all that, and fish, and put in something that you can parboil. Within 5 minutes, you have a soup. So I'm looking at it from that point of view, rather than slicing it and putting it in polythene as is presently done. But it's a good start, and I want to encourage you, research on it. Your key issues will be, how do I grow afang in commercial quantity? Then you can do outgrower scheme. Today, in many parts of our state, people grow afang in their yards, courtyards or backyards.
Yeah.
Okay? But we can do commercial afang farming, where people now devote large acres of land for growing afang, because you have a need to satisfy that can be global. So I want you to take to the next level. How can I have it like an instant food that people can get afang? Because when I travel and I order for afang, I'm always very certain that it won't be afang in this real sense of it, because it depends on who is cooking it. It depends on what they make of afang. I know how afang should be, so someone out there may not know how afang should be. So I'm usually devote large acres of land for growing afang, because you have a need to satisfy that can be global. So I want you to take to the next level. How can I have it like an instant food that people can get afang? Because when I travel and I order for afang, I'm always very certain that it won't be afang in this real sense of it, because it depends on who is cooking it. It depends on what they make of afang. I know how afang should be, so someone out there may not know how afang should be. So I'm usually very disappointed when it doesn't turn up to be the afang that I would eat back home. So you are right. Take it to the next level, and I think that's where you find.
Okay, let me take him first, and then I'll come to you.
Thank you very much. We have a business.
You already have a business, or you have an opportunity, or you have a problem. Let's go through the process. You have a business already.
Yes, we have a business. And the business is that we are into production, soap production. And when we started, we were about 5. So along the line, 2 people declined. And we were facing some challenges. So when I came to the podium, that was it on February or March. So the doctor was like talking about putting heads together and achieve a goal instead of dying with your goal without achieving it. So when I get back, I had a thought of what to do. I had to call those my friends together, and I told them, well, since 5 of us cannot make it at the same time, can we send out 1 person to be trained so that when he comes back, at least we will achieve the same goal. So 2 persons in the team declined, and that was how we become 3. The person that we sent out for training did not disappoint us, and by God's special grace, he's here. He tried to brief us on how the thing is being made, and he taught us so many things, and we follow his footsteps. So as I'm talking to you now, sir, we have a very nice product on ground, of which we are trying to send it out to people. They admire it, and shall we send it to one company, and they were telling us that they were into the business for more than 10 years, but they don't even have the concept of how we got it done. And we asked them for affiliation, because when we thought of registering it, and the process was much on us, so we said, okay, that we cannot do it illegally. So one company asked us to keep the those things that we use in making the soap, that until they come and see those things before they affiliate us, that they don't even have such equipment. So
Where did you get your equipment from?
So we made it ourselves. We made it ourselves.
What type of soap? Is it a
not liquid soap.
bar soap?
Bath soap, yes, sir.
What is it used for?
For bathing, yes, sir. And we do so many things.
Have you started selling them?
So we have some samples here.
Can we see the samples?
Yes. Please go and bring it. So, please, that was when I sat down last month. I was thinking of what to do. I said, okay, let's launch it as a missile. Let's just put out a kind of vacancy and see how many people would love to apply when they come and see the production. To my greatest surprise,
That's for salesmen or people who will help you market?
That will come and work with us, because what we have now...
Let them see it on the TV. Those are your samples?
Yes, sir. This is the production, not this how it's being made. We have so many concepts. We have so many colors. We have so many colors. And it may interest the viewers to know that these are nothing but our natural resources. Because when they talk about waste management on how to mitigate it, to use it, it may interest you to know that when we pasted out notice for people to apply as workers, as trainees, that as I'm talking to you now, we received more than 300 application letters. And when we tried to sort out the application letters, I was very shocked to realize that 80% of those application letters has been submitted by those that had BSc. So when I look at it, I say, wow, so this is great, that we cannot limit this. That I'm not in support of when something is being done in Akwa Ibom, they will say made in Italy, China. What is wrong in Akwa Ibom? So if at all we can use our natural resources to refine this out, it means that the finishing here, to me, in my own perspective, is perfect. I love it. So
that it's not about if you love it, the customers love it?
Yes. Yes, because when people comes in, we keep them to go and test and see if it works very well. Good, they patronize us. If it doesn't work, yes.
How many have you sold so far?
More than 200 pieces.
Okay.
More than 200 pieces.
So what's your problem? How can the guests or us here help you?
Well, the problem that we are having as a team, because my production manager itself, which I believe, sir, you at least give him 1 minute to say a word.
No problem.
The problem that we are having right now is the packaging, because it's not all about producing it like this. Yeah. It's all about the packaging and the registration, because we want to take it to the greater height.
And the scent.
Yes, we are working on that. We are working on that.
The fragrance also local?
No, I won't say that it's local, but we will still. There is a need to still rebrand it. Yes, we are still working on that. So what I'm looking at is, in the next 2 to 3 years, we have not less than 200 to 300 people working in that company, of which is possible. I've seen the need, because now the company as it stands now have the ability of producing not less than 100 dozen in less than 4 days. So if at all we have helping hands that see this vision more than we see it, I believe that with this it will help to mitigate some it will mitigate a job opportunity. And
let your operations manager also come and say something. This is quite innovative. Who are you competing with? Is it the key soap?
Sir, we are not competing with anybody. For the fact that we know how to do it, we are experts somehow.
No, but the market exists. People are already buying bathing soap.
People are buying it, but...
So why would they buy this one instead of your own instead of the other one?
Because it is made of within the environment.
But if you make it within the environment and you start giving me matches, I wouldn't buy it. Why would they buy your own instead of the other one? Have you thought about that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, what is your thought?
The essence is that it is good for me, for everybody, for environment, because the environment must accept what you do before you take it outside.
Okay, Pastor, I'm sorry.
Put it in perspective.
Yes.
First, I want to thank you for right switch. Who is your target market? And like Dr. rightly asked, take little steps in the right direction. Go back to the market, put this thing, I would say, give free samples to people. You know, count it as your initial cost, you know, of penetrating the market. Let them give you comments. The doctor asked about fragrance. If it is going to be a bathing soap, it must have fragrance, you know, and you need to find a way around that. Of course, packaging is also important, and you've rightly identified so. So your missing link really is your contract with the market. If the market is not part of the equation, you wouldn't make money. And I'm sure if you wouldn't make money, you wouldn't continue with the production. But I endorse this effort. It's an effort in the right direction.
Let me just add to what Mr. Jacob is saying. There's a big difference between marketing and sales. Sales, you push a widget, you push a product like this. You already made it, you push it. And people might want to or might not want it. Marketing, you identify needs. You find what people need, and you try to meet that need. You know. So like I was asking you, there are many other soaps in the market. What is the specific unique need? It might be price. Might be this one will do the same thing as Lux, but Lux is 50 naira and this one is 25 naira. So that's what you really have to look at. Now, what's your immediate problem? What's your immediate challenge that we can help you?
Well, the immediate problem that we are facing now is the packaging, because when we talk of the company that we are competing with, unlike that soap now, one goes for 100 naira and people appreciate it.
This one?
Yes, they appreciate it. And some
so you can sell this for 100 naira?
Yes, sir.
Today?
Does it foam?
Yes, sir.
Foams well?
Yes, sir.
So if you can sell this for 100 naira and people can buy it, why do you want to package it? Because packaging is going to add cost to it.
Yes, sir. There is a need for us to package it, because that is not the level that we've seen it. Because
again, you hear what he said about let the market decide that. So if they're already buying it at 100 naira and you package it, it becomes 200 naira. Do you think they will still buy it? Don't answer. Just think about it.
Let me add something to you, because when you were saying it, maybe you have to. Why don't you present it to the market as bath soap for washing? because that one you don't need packaging. Once it is accepted by the market, then you put perfume and improve on the health side of it, get your registration. By this time, your name will be in the market. I'm just suggesting that. I'm not saying you should follow it, because if you don't package it as bathing soap, it's a low-brainer. It won't fly, because when I compare this with Lux or any other this thing, it's a packaging that actually invites attention. But if you sell this as bar soap or for washing like purposes, for now, okay, then you penetrate the market, you make some money and go and improve it, and then come up with another product out of your line of production that has to do with bathing and all that. I don't know whether that makes sense.
Something that I think in this discussion of creating business from opportunities, you have to learn to crawl before you run. There's a big gap between, crawling, standing, walking, and running. Once you crawl, you are expert in crawling. You can stand, and then you can walk, and then you can run. And that's the kind of thing we want to be able to help you. If not nothing else. Akikop is set up for things like that. We can help you intellectually, then we can even guide you on where to get funding for the next step. That's what the Podium of Leadership is all about. What kind of a show is it? Okay. So what's the real? I'm trying to understand the problem so I can help. If 300 people have applied to work for you, and you can produce as many, you give them to start selling, since it's a sales, it's not marketing at this point.
Please, when we advertise the product for people to start applying, the initial intention was not for us to employ them. The initial intention was for them to come. When they come, we give them sample. When they test it, they come back.
You advertise for them to come for employment?
Yes, we wanted to.
Wasn't to employ
because we don't have the enabler environment that will employ all of them.
We don't have the production.
The production is ready. So the problem now.
Can you mass produce it?
So we can mass produce it.
How many can you produce in a day?
So we use 3 days to produce.
How many can you produce in a day?
So we can produce more than we can produce 500 in a day.
Okay. How many can you sell in a day?
So if we go out for supply, we can distribute the 500.
Then you get 500 times 100 naira. You say you are selling it at 100 naira.
So that is at the retail level. If we are sending out at bulk price, we reduce it to 70.
Okay, so what is your need now? How can we in this Podium help you?
So please, the Podium can help us with capital to package it and also register it, because if we sell it as it is now, it's illegal.
And Podium cannot support you to do anything illegal.
Yes, and that is why we bring the product to the Podium, because we know Podium love good things and they would like to support us.
Okay, so that's what we are talking about, standing and walking and running. You said some people have come in and tell you they want to come and inspect.
Yes, sir.
Have they come to inspect?
So they wanted to come, but the agreement was not. Their mission was for selfish interest. That's how we see it. Because they love the product. They accept to market the product for us to affiliate with them. We use their company name.
They can't market it if they can't come to your factory and inspect and see what is going on.
Let me help.
Yeah, we are trying to help, because I'm sure there are other people who are struggling with another product.
I'm trying to analyze the hiccups. If I do a little mathematics on your volume, you can't make money if you're just making 500 a day.
And selling at 100 naira.
Yeah, and they're selling at 100 naira.
At the retail, which means that wholesale is going to be less than 100 naira.
And then, of course, you also had said that the equipment is homemade. And I'm asking you, can we think of upgrading our means of production so that we can mass produce?
Yes.
If that is possible, you can then attract capital, because capital cannot come in on a Mickey Mouse venture of 500 pieces a day and all that. So solve the issue of means of production that can give you mass production. Okay? Don't be afraid when people are asking you all those questions. I hear you say selfish, this thing. Protect your formula, your formulation secret. Protect it. Okay? Don't reveal that to someone. Even if you go into the business.
Are you a chemist? Who knows the chemistry of converting this piece of oil? It's oil, right?
Yes.
Who knows the chemistry of converting it into soup?
The production manager.
Okay, so you understand the chemistry of it. Okay, so it's not a rocket science. But you are trying to take it to the next level. Okay, so understand what it is. This program is to help you turn it into a business, not just an idea. But you've gone past an idea here. You have some kind of a product. Okay, so maybe we'll give you time. Mr. Jacob, can they come to Okipok to get some more encouragement?
Let's have a conversation behind the podium.
Okay, let's give it up to them again. Let the three of them stand up. Let those three pioneers, three of you stand up, so you can focus on them. Let's give it up to them. All right, well done. Good idea, good effort. Okay, we'll see what we can do. Make sure you get his number, go to Okikop, let them sit you down and take you through the process. Perhaps they will be able, with their name, we might be able to help you raise the fund to do what you have to do legally. And turn this opportunity into what? Into a business. Let's give it up to them. Okay. Any other person? Yes. Okay, the two ladies are going to speak one after the other.
Thank you very much, sir. I think from what I can deduce from what they've been saying, I'm going to speak on what they just did. I'm really in love with it.
Can you invest? Do you have money to invest?
I certainly will.
Okay.
From what they're saying, they're insisting on it being a bad thing. So because they have, at their own level, carried out their own research and survey, they've given to over 300 people.
Okay, let's do this. Without my producer is hitting me hard. So we've already directed them to go to Okikop. Okikop are experts. Akwa Investment Corporation. They are there to help organizations start something like this. Okay, sir, please let
me just land this for the benefits of any other product like this.
Okay.
Their problem, like me, the problem I'm seeing there is this. You know, if you don't have a name, an established name in business, you'll be turned down. And people will always steal. People ahead of you will always steal the opportunity. Before that company could tell them that they've been trying for 10 years to get this, but they can't, that they want to come and see what they want to come and get exactly the formula. And what they need now is protection. They can't send it to market because it's not registered. That's why they can't get those 300 people involved, because they will be arrested and prosecuted, and this great job will be dead. And I speak for other people coming up under this at this level. So what they need is protection, and this is why most Nigerians, when they come up with good ideas like this.
Okay, Okikop is in a better place to protect them and provide what they need. All right, the young lady, because we have to cut it off soon.
Thank you, Doctor, for this great opportunity. Mine is a question. I want to know if like me now, I want to venture into farming. Can it be an idea of an entrepreneur? Because I have friends that maybe they were talking about creativity. They said, I want to go into modeling. I want to go into sewing. So I want to know if, because I have passion for farming. So I don't know if...
What are you studying in school now?
English. Okay. So I have passion for farming. So I don't know if I should venture into farming, whether it's an idea of an entrepreneur. By so saying, last 2 weeks I called my dad. I told him about it. I told him I want to venture because he's into farming. So he now said that he can give me, like, okay, I don't know whether he was kidding. He said, I have like 2,000 hectares of land if I want to farm, because I was telling him I want to farm.
Where are you from? What part of Akwa Ibom?
Esenudim.
So where is that around?
Diasim.
Okay, they have enough land there for palm.
Yes.
For palm kernel. What do you want to? What do you have in mind about farming?
Cassava. I want to plant cassava. So he told me that I shouldn't have any problem. That he's very excited because he's into farming. So he even went for that to get the stem for me to come and plant.
Okay. What's your level at school?
200 level.
Try and take some 1 or 2 courses in agriculture. Okay, so that by the time you finish and your dad is already in it, you can take over that farm and turn it into a business. Let's give it up to her.
Do you want to see beyond your vision? Do you want to hear what other people think about leadership? Do you need a reshaping of your mindset and mentorship? Then tune in to the Podium of Leadership, The Pole with Victor Udo, showing on AKBC Channel 45 every Monday by 12:30 p.m. and on NTA Channel 12 Uyo every Thursday by 10 p.m. Tune to The Pole on Planet FM on Wednesdays by 3 p.m. and on AKBC Radio on Saturdays by 1:30 p.m. You can be a guest on this program. You can also advertise your products, goods and services, or sponsor the program by calling our office line 0902 300 7299. That is 0902 300 7299. Visit our website on www.thepole.com.ng. Like our page on facebook.com/The Podium of Leadership, or follow us on our Twitter handle at The Pole with Victor. The Podium of Leadership do show. Join us.
Pastor has to say around the last word. Unfortunately, time is out. But let Pastor say one last concluding word on creating business from opportunities.
Well, we all agree that business solves problems. Problems hide opportunities. What the ordinary man calls a problem, an entrepreneur calls it an opportunity. Maybe we can illustrate that with a very successful business that tapped into an opportunity and today is celebrated around the world. I can give you to know that a Ford motor that we're using today, Henry Ford, in his time, automobiles, as they call it in America, was something that only the rich can use. And when you buy a car, you are actually sending a signal that I have joined the crowd of the rich. And then he sat back and said, with X million people around the country, and fewer people being able to buy a car, there's going to be a social tension. And then he imagined every house a car. And then said, how do I go about this? And discovered that the problem was the cost. And said, I'm going to make a car that every house can afford. In the first generation of Ford motors were really like mini motors. They had gone upscale today. But in that little illustration, you see someone seeing through a problem. The problem was hidden. Social cohesion. Only few people can buy a car. If that be, then the rest of the country, the rest of the population might create tension. And then he created a market. Sometimes, when we say get in touch with the market may not be able to define the need.
Right.
But you can piece it together for them.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I wish we had enough time because this is really, 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 really good. We appreciate the guys that took the time to experiment with the soap business. And we promise you, go to Akikop, hear what they have to say. Let's see how we can turn this into a good business. Let's give it up to them again. We don't have too much time, unfortunately, but if you have any idea there, if you have any opportunity there, and you don't know how to convert it into a business, please approach Akikop. Akikop is on a back road. And when you go there, say you met Mr. Imobasi Jacob at the Podium of Leadership, and you have this business concept that you need to be guided through. And I'm talking to you that is listening to me on the TV and the radio. Please, Akikop is a government investment opportunity for you to take advantage of. Leverage it and become big business people. God bless you and God bless Acquiring State. Well done.